Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Taking a little look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. We're going to have to redraw out our Fibonacci retracement levels and just kind of look at some chart patterns that are forming here. Of course, we do have a rising wedge on the daily here, kind of giving us the indication that this could pull back. But once again, rising wedges can last a while. We're typically going to see 2 or 3 touches on the upper and lower trend lines. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We've got 1 here and 2 here so far. So there is potential for a pullback for a third, but we will see here in a second. Also, furthermore, if you are new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I really love teaching people to trade. I truly hope you can learn something here today. If you do want to become a better trader, just go ahead and consider jumping on over to our cryptocash.tech website there and register for our premium account. We actually do have some awesome signals that just took place. Granted, this was roughly a month ago. We got in around 1780, if I recall correctly, for our Solana trade. Nice little 5x long trade there. Took 93% in total for the entire trade. And so good job there, as well as a nice little 2-month-old injective. That is a long position as well, 74%. And of course, we got our 64% from ZRX. That is a short position. Okay, so we're definitely taking some nice profits. So again, thank you so much for the wonderful feedback. And what was it? JCXB? I'm happy to hear that I paid your mortgage with that one trade. Or sorry, you paid that, of course. But I'm happy to have helped in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so what we want to look at here with Solana is a few things. First of all, we want to talk about this resistance at 70. Okay, so we're getting closer to that 70 mark. Previously, when we hit 70 on the RSI, we saw the price action wick up a little bit higher and then pull back. Okay? So right now, we're kind of seeing something very similar there where the price action wicked up, pulling back. It was able to break through this most recent high here. And that's a big deal, right? That 2482, that could be the new support. We really just kind of want to, in truth, in situations like this, you wait and see how it consolidates at that level. You try not to FOMO in and try not to just jump into an early short. That's really the bottom line there. Because this is just like the kind of the first leg up, if you will, at least the official leg up. So you always want to exercise caution when the price action tries to break through a key level resistance. We have 6.5 hours, roughly, basically 7 hours left of time in this candle here. So this 1-day candle hasn't closed yet. So I've got to give it some time to kind of figure itself out. It needs to average itself out higher than that previous resistance level if it's going to hold as a support. Okay? So truth is, when you have that kind of overextension going into 70 on the RSI, a lot of times the price will kind of hang out there and then leg up again later. So that we really want to make sure that we are careful here and not just getting in too early. Okay? So all in all, with the daily looking good so far, let's look. We're above all 3 moving averages here as well. We'll go ahead and draw ourselves out a trend line here too. And I can pay attention to that here a little bit later to make sure we know specifically what's going on. We'll take a quick look at some liquidity levels. We can see here previous liquidity level at about back in August has been swept, and the most recent one as well. If we take a look at fair value, roughly the same thing. We had that buy side liquidity that has been pretty much taken care of there. So if we take a look at the 4-hour, we can see a very similar situation here. The most recent buy side liquidity has been swept. So a lot of times when you see that happen, the price can pull back because of that, but you don't have to, like, it's best not to assume that it will just because it's been filled, okay? Now, again, if you were watching the charts and you saw this breakthrough, shorting up here would have been a good call. Again, hindsight's 2020, but now that we're here, you don't just jump into a short because it's overextended or we swept the liquidity. It really just means that there's a lot of other factors at play, okay? So let's look at that one. On the 4-hour here, we can kind of see that we're above all 3 moving averages. That's pretty standard. That means we're truly bullish here. We can see we're over 70 on the RSI, and in its past, in its history, when we come up over 70, it can stay there for some time. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind it broke through 70 right here, and it went this much further up. Okay? So truth is, when we break 70, just like right here, the price has continued much higher. So it doesn't imply that the price is just going to pull back because it's overextended. Okay? Please know that. Furthermore, we got a MACD convergence here as well, showing us a shift in momentum has taken place. The bears are not really in sight whatsoever. They're just kind of hanging out on the sidelines, letting the bulls push the price action higher. Okay? So the bulls are winning, and the 4-hour time frame does look truly bullish to me. While we are overextended in certain ways, it's not the ways in which I would like to try to just jump into a short position. If I'm going to try to short, I'm going to short closer to 26, 27, maybe even this most previous high range here of like 28 to 30. Okay? Again, that's just me personally. I like to wait for a better entry. I think we're still a little premature here, and this has good enough momentum where it should continue. I hope I'm wrong and the price goes back down if you're shorting, right? But if you are in a long position, I wouldn't get super greedy. You should have taken profits by now. Yeah, there's a reason why we set multiple profit targets when we take trades. because if you never take profit, you're never truly profitable. Let that sink in for a minute. Think about that. It's just the way it works. You're a diamond hand holder. You're gonna have so much potential money on the table that it's difficult to walk away. You have to figure out a good risk tolerance that works best for you. But simply put, that's kind of the bumper sticker version there. So taking a look at the Ichimoku cloud, we can kind of see here. This is kind of the good little hourly indicator letting us know that we are in the green on all fronts. Okay, so while we are overextended, yes, we had a 9 here previously, coming up to that most recent resistance level. The price just shot straight through. That's likely somewhat of a short squeeze. A lot of shorts will hedge their shorts with longs at this point and just flip from bearish to bullish. But mainly they get squeezed out here. They have to close their positions, and then there becomes less resistance at that level, which is why this reaffirms itself as a support, because the fact that it's a new average true range for the coin. Okay, at least in the most recent time frame. Speaking of which, we didn't take a look at volume profile yet. Let's just go ahead and get a quick perspective here on what's going on. If we zoom out a little bit, let's go ahead and do this here. Just say this is roughly the last 1 month's worth of trading. We have the most amount of volume below the price action right now in the last 1 month. That's a very positive sign in the overall sense that the price pulls back. It'll likely bounce off of this level here at about 24, or there's a less likelihood of the price dropping through that level, and it should maintain the support. Okay, so a lot of times when you look at Elliott wave, you can kind of see that the price will pull back to certain levels. Let's go ahead and pull up, remove the fibs here just so you can kind of see that. Generally speaking, we are looking at, if there is a pullback, it won't be dramatically far down. It'll be just kind of right at the average halfway, 0.618 or 0.382 levels. Okay? So again, all the more reason to be careful shorting right now. Just because it could happen doesn't mean it will. You can see anytime in the past, once again, when it creeps up over that 70 in the RSI, it just keeps on shooting. So we're at this point right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little pullback and the price legs up. Bear in mind too, this most recent high, this range right here at about 24.50 is a close approximate. Should work as a new low as well. Just mainly because it was obviously an area which it had trouble passing, and now it's going to hold as a potential support moving forward. So start getting into your head, previous resistance, turn support. It's not always a foolproof 100% scenario, but it does have a tendency of working very consistently. And that's why Fibonacci retracement levels are very beneficial too, because they fall in line and fall in place with that. Okay, so again, that's why Elliott wave, I love this theory, because it does fall into place with Fibonacci retracement levels, which are just really common areas of pullback, or the price will gravitate towards that. So if you are wanting to get like a playout chart for this, for example, I have those available on our Telegram, Discord, and Twitter. So feel free to check that out. They look a little something like this, and I can kind of help give you perspective on that. So if you want to kind of go ahead and follow over there, greatly appreciate the like, retweet, and follows there. But more importantly, just at this point, jump on over, get engaged with the community. We have an awesome group here, and some really fantastic traders too. I love this short position here. While I don't recommend anything over 20x for newer traders, honestly, that is a really good trade. Love when I see a short on. All right. Anyways, thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care.